First thing I want to do is see how long I want my tails to be. I want them to go the length of this pumpkin. So I'm going to measure that. So if the bow's up here and I want them to go down there, let me tell you the length. So that is 16, 17, it's about 18 inches. So now I know I can put this guy aside for a second. He's a standing pumpkin, but listen, everything we're going to do today could be made on a hanging pumpkin. Super easy. And if you wanted to make this more Halloween themed, no worries. Just change your florals a little bit, change your greenery, and you got it. You know? Okay, I'm putting this one in here, and let's take and twist it. Now, my first loop is going to be at 6 inches. I don't need it really big. It's going to be a really super simple bow. These projects you don't want to spend a ton of time on because these are just kind of like either for yourself or shop fillers. And we want to keep the cost down in them because we already have the cost of the pumpkin. So I'm going to cut these each at an angle on both sides. So this is a simple 2-loop bow. We're going to add one more loop to the center. It's a 3-loop bow. It's a 2-1. 2-1's our recipe. And I'm going to cut these at opposite angles to each other. So you can see it's super simple bow, 1 color ribbon, ready to rock and roll on that. Let's go ahead and take that off. And I think I'm out of cable ties, which is not going to make me happy, but I'll use a pipe cleaner down the middle. Sometimes you don't have what you need, and that won't get near as tight, so it'll bum me out, but it's okay. We can still use that. So I'm holding pressure and I'm fluffing it out, spreading those loops out. And I need lots of dimension. I cannot have that flat. Pull this tight. Look how cute. Super simple bow. And I love that little pop of black plaid in there. That really adds some texture, you guys. Now, I'm not even going to worry about the center because we'll have that covered with greenery. You won't even see it. All right, here's like a nice little chunk. It's probably about 4 by 2 or something like that. It's nice and thick, though. We don't want it too thin or it can crack on you. Oh, you guys, if you're not on our text list, it's textclee.com. You can grab a spot on it there. You can always unsubscribe if you're tired of getting our texts, but that is where we communicate with you. We have more control over that than we do anything here on any of our social media. So if you don't want to miss anything we're doing, okay, I just dipped this in glue. If you wanted to use a hot glue gun, you could just do that up here. This pumpkin from Hobby Lobby, I kind of like this. It's heavier wood, so we're not going to have to worry about it falling over. So pay attention to that because we're going to add some weight to the front of this design, okay? The first thing I want to do is add a bit of greenery, which is just a nice little fall bush. It's got fall and green. It's a pretty combo, and once again, these colors match this perfectly. So I'm going to push these up to kind of get them a little shorter. I don't need them super long. And then we'll just start cutting those off. Here we go. I'm going to start with greenery. All my glue pot is off camera. So I'm kind of creating a shape, guys, with the greenery. If you can tell, like I've got a little bit flow there. I've got a little bit up here. And that's just a start. We'll use these other pieces to fill in as we get going. Right now I've grabbed the longer spray. You see it's really long, and I'm going to bend it here and cut it into 2 pieces. So I have one that has the main pumpkin and then one that has like the nice length spray. So you can do that anytime. And if you get like a rogue berry, a lot of times I just cut those out, or I use a Sharpie to cover them up. So I use that longer PC to come down my pumpkin. That's really, really important. Now I'm going to pop in my bow next. So I'm going to take my little bow, and we're going to need to attach a floral pin to it. I'm going to grab one of those over here. And we're going to, I think we can probably just go through the middle. Let me see if I can get it through the middle. I can. And then I'll come back over that with these pipe cleaners to hide it. So you won't see the metal pin quite as much. I'm going to have floral around it, so it won't be a big deal, but I'm trying to camo it ever so slightly. I like to try to make my pieces where the mechanics are camouflaged and not so easily seen. Now I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my pin, and we'll put that in. Okay, I'm going to put the bow on. I like it kind of catty corner a little bit, not straight. And the reason I wanted to go ahead and get this in is I want to get some of these ribbons underneath. Look how stinking cute already. I love to teach all this stuff. This is so fun. Now pull the metal leaf out because we want to have that showing. Let me go in front of the metal leaf. There we go. And I like the metal leaves in here because I think it adds quite a bit of texture, and I don't mind the raffia as well. And if you want the raffia more to the front, add it to the front of your bow. You don't have to buy extra raffia. Take the raffia off the pumpkin and add it in. Now I'm going to curl this. And sometimes you may not be in the mood to make the whole big wreath this week, but you want to try something simple that you can knock out really quickly. I love this part. All right, Mr. Pumpkin's in. Now we're going to take that second sunflower and we're going to, I'm going to tear this off so I can use the smaller pieces. That's one of the advantages of using that foam on there. I've got the foam where I can push in smaller pieces. So when you tear that, if you'll look, that's all, it's called hand wrapped. It was all hand wrapped in there, but there's all these wire bits that I just trimmed neatly. And now these all have strong wire stems that we can use to place this in our foam. This is one of my favorite things in here. It's this little micro berry. Oh, it's so good. So we're gonna use that in a second, but let's start off with a little bit of that greenery I have put aside. And we're gonna work in around here. So let me pop a little glue on it. You guys, I don't use a glue gun, I use a glue skillet. You can go watch any of our videos. Usually you can see it on camera, but today I've got it plugged in behind me. KhalesDesignSchool.com. And come join us in the spring. We will be creating all that stuff. Right now we're focusing with our students on Christmas and fall. And then at the beginning of the year, we'll be shooting right into our best-selling Valentine's and spring projects. It's been just so much fun. So I added a couple more greenery right here to the top. And I'm gonna grab the poppy picks. And we're gonna use these to fill in a little bit. They have that gorgeous olive color, and I wanna work that in around too. Now, when I break this down, I'm gonna do kind of the same thing. I'm gonna cut it into little sections. So whenever you're shopping for supplies, when you're on Khales.com, I try to buy things that are really easy to work with, and because I've been like a power seller on Etsy, I've sold over 7,000 wreaths for sure, and plus I did craft shows for 17 or 18 years, and along that line I've sold I don't know how many thousands of wreaths, but anyway, time is money, so I like to buy things that are super easy to work with and break up, but where you get the most value for the pieces. So you'll see that when you're shopping with us. I'm going to add this little poppy pick down to the left over here. It's giving it life, it's giving it motion. I'm always talking about that. And dimension. One of the reasons I think I was always so successful at craft shows and things like that when I had the right buyer is because our stuff had dimension and depth and texture, and that made a big difference. You see how this flower is lined up like this? You just give those petals a little rotation. You'll make it more circular. Sometimes they rotate a little, and then it gets a little prettier look if you do that. Just give it a rotation. So let's see what's happening there. Now, I'm ready to add my larger sunflower to the top, and then we'll work some of the other florals in around it. I'm gonna put it almost right in the middle of the bow, but just a little bit higher is the plan. Okay, so I just went a little higher with that. I'm loving that, just right kind of popping out of the center. How beautiful is that? The maple leaves that are going down here, we want a little of those at the top also. So we're gonna add a couple of those in. I'm gonna turn this kind of sideways, guys, so you can see what we're doing here. A little bit better, there we go. So our line is working this way, so that's what I wanna make sure I continue with that, with the maple leaves. Let's put these in first. I love these, they are super wired. Oh. Thank you, Peggy Forbes. We got some love for you. Email info@Khales.com. That's Peggy Forbes. So we're going to the top here. You see it kind of come over, and this grass lays right on top of it. That's perfect. Okay, and now I'm gonna cut a little shorter one. I'm gonna use this one kind of in the center because it's got this beautiful leaf, a little bit smaller. And we're going right to the middle. Pressing that in. I'm totally loving that. Leaves. Okay, there's a little bit of twig also that we want to use, and that beautiful berry. And I'm going to put these kind of towards the top. Pop it in. So when you guys decorate for fall, do you like pumpkins? Do you use pumpkins? Let me know in the comments. Or are you more into like acorns and leaves? Tell me what you like to use when you're decorating for yourself, or maybe you're a seller, and what you like to make. Give me your perspective in the comments so I can know more about what you guys want to see more of. Look how pretty those berries are to the front. And these berries are down here, kind of pulling that color through the design. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. I'm gonna use a little bit more greenery between the layers of my bow here, so we're gonna bring that inside. Let's put another greenery on this side. Isn't this really fun? So it's basically you're designing a floral arrangement on a pumpkin, which is unexpected. This is a sitter. So this type of piece looks great like on an entry table. So you guys, if you're makers and you're thinking of ideas for videos that you want to attract buyers, what you would do is you would tell them, hey, I've got this new pumpkin arrangement that I made, and let me show you how well it works on a hall table or behind a sofa. And you show them how to use it. And then while you're showing them this, you show them the wreath you made that coordinates with it. And you show them the regular centerpiece that's two-sided that matches it. So all of a sudden you have a whole video that has 3 of your pieces in it, and you're really not selling your product forwardly, you're kind of selling it passively while you're talking about how they would work and how to decorate with them. So that's one of the things we teach in the business coaching over at Makers University, is all about how to talk to your perfect customer to help you sell this. And the same thing goes when you're in your craft booth. You want to show them how to use it visually in that display. I'm coming with a little grass on this side because I want it to match this grass over here. Y'all, if you ever want business coaching, you want to learn how to do Etsy, craft shows, all the things, come join me at Makers University. That's CoachKhalid.com. I enjoy helping others have success in their creative businesses. One more greenery. I'm going to rotate it a little bit towards me. Let me take a look at it. I'm going to check for holes. So when you're putting those last few picks in, see if there's anything that your customer will be seeing from the side. Now, we did this fancy and nice and full. You want to make it thinner, that's fine. You could use one pick, just maybe a little bit less ribbon, whatever you want to do for the budget, for the end price points you want to start with for your business. But if you're just making this for yourself, I say you jazz it up to levels unknown, because that is adorable. All right, guys, tell me if you could do this. I think you guys can all do it. I hope you come back and watch more videos with us. Thanks for being here. See you soon, guys. I will see you updating you on what's going on here sooner than later. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.